Well, Dave and I are on our way to the Michigan Bushcraft Spring Gathering in Oscoda. We're going to be speaking and who knows what else. We're looking forward to being there.
The Michigan Bushcraft Spring Gathering is always the first weekend of May. The weather never lets us down. The bugs aren't here yet. It is the perfect time to get out, get back outdoors. The Lumberman's Monument is a fantastic place, so beautiful. There's so many wonderful little things to see and do, and at the same time, learn and be a part of a community that wants to have you aboard.
Morning, guys. Well, had a good first night, and today everything kind of kicks off. So I'm up getting some coffee, and then I have to go make a shelter for a shelter demonstration this morning. I have no idea where I'm gonna do it, so I gotta go scope out the land here. Oh yes, look at that. It's beautiful on a cold morning. Welcome, guys. My name is Brooke, and how many of you guys have ever tried to build a debris shelter? Anybody? Yeah, a few people? They're my absolute favorite thing to stay in at night. There's so many good reasons to build and stay in a debris shelter. For me, I like the feeling of having walls. You know, a lot of times I'm camping alone, and there's nothing that can replace walls over like nylon. To me, there's no comparison. They're much, much warmer. I just feel much more secure. I actually feel like I've got walls and security around me, whether that's imagined or not. I mean, obviously, if a bear is going to come and the shelter is going to be nothing. But mentally, it's a huge, huge deal. Have you anybody seen Alone season 4? I remember thinking, how am I going to deal with this? I've got to be in this complete wilderness situation, dropped with nothing. And I'm in cougar country and bear country. There's wolves. I'm in new territory. I'm like, I need walls day one. Worked my butt off for hours so I could have walls. Of course, I have my tarp too, but mentally, that is just such a huge, huge deal. And I went into it thinking, all right, I'm going to imagine the worst thing that could possibly happen to me and how I'm going to deal with it. So I thought about being attacked by a bear. I thought about being attacked by a cougar. I put myself in the situation, resolved it. I came out the winner. And that visualization helped me so much out there because I had already encountered all of the scary things that I could think of. And I'd already resolved it in my head. And I had this great shelter. I highly encourage you to try and build a shelter. And let's be honest, they're like grown-up forts. I mean, they're pretty just fun to build. That's my main reason for building and staying in debris shelters. We've got shelters that have been standing for 3 years, and every year I just keep refreshing the materials. As long as you've got a good frame and it's sturdy, that thing's going to stand for years. The other really important thing is however you build your shelter, and there's so many ways to build a shelter. There's no wrong way to build a shelter. You have to be adaptable. You have to be inventive. If something's not working, do it over. Think of something else. So you just gotta look and say, well, am I out of material? Am I out of energy? How am I feeling? Like, I gotta get in here. Do whatever you've got to do to just get it done. Whatever you're building off of needs to be very strong. Especially this part here. I've had these collapse even after I thought I've picked a pretty hard, solid piece of ridgepole here. And you don't want to be in there when that collapses, because you're going to put all your weight on this piece. Everything is leaning on this, so especially in a hardwood forest, it's heavier. So once you've got your poles, the next thing is obviously the debris. This is just awesome right here. And even if it's a little damp, it's even easier to deal with. Let's throw it up on there. I kind of like it when it's damp. I've got about a foot of debris to start with here on this shelter. Now what I'm going to need to do, it's not finished, you get that foot of debris. You want these close enough so it'll catch. Now you go around and you're gonna wanna pick up more sticks, okay? And you're just gonna be tossing those on, and that's just gonna hold down what you've got. Then more debris, more sticks. You can see that it will compress over time, but the more debris you have up there, it's going to absolutely keep you dry. It could be pouring rain, you're gonna be dry in there. I would like you guys, if you guys want to like participate, we need to finish off this shelter, which is put all the rest of the debris on here. We need to make another side rail so you can get the feel of what that's like.
Can you talk about your lashing techniques there?
All I do for lashing is make it work. I don't do any special knots. You know, people get hung up on knots, and yeah, sure, knots are great, but what if you don't know them? Are you doomed? No. Tie a million granny knots. You know?
My name was on the thing.
Yeah.
It's warm
Yeah.
and smells good.
No, don't fall asleep.
Yeah, so this is how
Why not?
put it right there. Yeah, see how that's going to fill those gaps? It's going to want to catch those leaves.
That's good.
Your coffee.
Now the
Yeah,
tree will,
see,
now the
it's
pine
getting
tree
there.
will go. Yeah.
Have you got in there yet, Reese?
No.
Check it out.
It's crazy how warm it is in here
Do you
compared
see?
to
Do you see any holes in there that we need to fill? Do you see
Right
daylight?
that.
Okay. There we go. It's getting cozy now.
So by cooling the very tip, it should not have mushed the way it did.
So how long does it usually take to make a knife?
So this plant is the one I want to talk about next. You guys probably have all seen it, even if you don't know you've seen it. Go ahead and feel the leaf, it's very distinctive. Is it hot? It's spicy hot. Am I gonna die? No. I've never eaten it, I just know George said, yeah, it's edible. And if you guys do get sick, it's George's fault. I've never eaten it.
George, please raise your hand.
Some people use it as toilet paper because it's nice and soft and fuzzy. However, some people are more sensitive than other people, so before you put it on your nether regions, rub it on your face and see if it feels tingly to you. These leaves that are dead and old and dry, and when you kind of rub them, right, it just kind of fluffs up. You smoke it, but not like stick it in a bong and smoke it. You smoke it like putting it in an incense burner type of thing, and you inhale the smoke, and it's actually good for bronchial stuff. So like bronchitis, asthma, anything where the bronchi are constricting, it helps them to dilate. Get a morel. That's the hard part. You get a morel and you put it down on the floor and you tell your dog to find it. And when the dog gets any sort of signal that it's interested in that morel, you give it a treat, right? And eventually it'll start going and signaling to the morel just to get the treat. Then you move the morel like to the next room and the dog has to go and find it, but it's just like right there in the middle of the floor, right? And then you like put it under your hat, and now the dog has to find it under the hat. And so basically you make it a game of hide and seek until the dog is finding that already harvested morel. Then you can take the dog out into the woods. And if your dog is like my dog, what she will do is she doesn't actually find the morel patch because she gets bored too easy. But once I find the first morel, I can have her start looking, and she'll start like going in bigger and bigger circles, just sniffing around, looking for more morels. And then if I get really lucky, she doesn't step on them. So, but she is pretty good at it. I've got a couple of really cute pictures of her sitting like right down, and there's a little morel like right here, and she's just sitting there, and she's like, I found it.
So she's just waiting for a treat at that point,
She's
right?
just waiting for a treat at that. She's like, I found it. I want my treat. Which her treat is carrots. So.
Which was 7 straight weeks from the time they dropped us off to the time that they came and got us. What we really could have used is a wood stove and a 22.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be set.
But I lost too much weight, and they came and told me about a week before we tapped, you're approaching a red zone. You need to change your strategy. I thought, well, bring me some cheeseburgers.
the blow tube that a blacksmith friend made of me. It's short.
Oh, nice.
So just to control the fire, you just blow wherever. Then the wood will be glowing. Everyone has a different method. This is how I do it. I try and keep the fire going in the bowl.
So then at some point, do you take a tool and kind of work with it then?
Yeah, scrape it out. I have a knife. To scrape after, if the fire burns out, like say this isn't an all, like I wouldn't sit and do a whole bowl in one day. If I want to stop, you know, then I'll scrape it out and then start again the next day.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I have tried, but I didn't have enough patience to see it through.
Yeah, it's a process.
Look at all this cordage. That's beautiful. Cattail.
Yep, it's all the different fibers and everything. I have cards over there if you want any. If you have any
Sweetgrass.
questions or anything.
Basswood.
Yeah, it's all different.
Nice.
And I haven't done it today, but this.
Elm.
To me, it's like everywhere anybody is, there's always cordage material.
Yeah.
That's the way it's meant to be. This is banana stalks.
Oh, wow. Never
And
seen
you just
that.
rip it vertical.
It almost looks like corn, like husk.
And this is one of the best fibers.
So where did you get the banana?
I have a plant in my house.
No way! You have a
do.
banana plant? Do you get bananas?
No. When I had my, we had a solarium at our old place, south facing, and we did get a bunch of bananas.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That is so cool.
Yeah, it makes a really nice, soft fiber. Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah, that's so cool. So these are baskets you've made.
Cedar. This is cedar.
Wow, look at that, is really artistic. That's
Yeah,
really neat.
they're fun. It's completely out of basswood bark.
That is impressive.
Cordage. That is cordage that I twisted.
That must have taken you forever. Beautiful.
That one's an elm root.
Isn't that pretty? So artistic.
Be able to pin down whatever I'm trying to start on fire, and with that 2/3 rule, I can put a lot of force in that rod, and I'm scraping actually kind of slow, but I've got slow controlled scrapes here. I can just back and forth like this. I can light almost anything on fire like this.
Couple ways to do that too. I mean, he goes forward, or you can plant your hand and pull back. Come over and talk about the smokehouse. He's the only guy.
Our high temp inside last year, we hit 118 in here in January.
Oh, wow.
Is this what they call a hot tent?
It's a hot tent.
And there's like about a 6-inch wide. I made the stove, the quilts, the hammock, the tent.
That is amazing, sir. Well done.
I make it all.
Look at this setup. That is just awesome.
Yeah. I made all the front of this. Put the hole in, reset that, just cut a hole.
So what did you say this was? This was a what from Menards?
Ceiling box.
Cathedral ceiling box for a fan or something?
Well, it's for putting a wood stove in your house where the stovepipe would go through the roof.
Oh.
This would insulate it from your house.
Right.
You just got to build all the front of this and put a damper in it.
Man,
Smoky.
that's slick.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
He's loving your chair, man.
Dude, it's got like hydraulics on it.
See, there you go. Just rock a little. You'll feel it.
Well, I couldn't tell if it was just rocking on the skid.
Underneath it, there's that button that you push that helps you get up.
When you get old, it kind of kicks you out. So where'd you get this at?
I seen one of these. I went down to Graceland in Virginia. To a hammock hang, and there was 2 guys had these things.
That's leveling up right there.
I'm like, yeah. The next week I went to Dick's. They had them on sale, $10 off.
Oh,
you hammock guys, I mean, wow. You guys are impressive.
She can stay, and if it's too hot, you can just pull it out to one side, and look at that.
That's so cool.
Then we're going to put a top quilt. Okay, we're going to just slide this foot box right over your feet here. Now, you can use a regular sleeping bag as a top quilt, and that's great. Once you're zipping up in the sleeping bag, if you got to get up and do any ablutions, you're going to have to worm back into that sleeping bag. So if she wants to get out and do what she needs to do, she flips it over, gets back in, flips it back on, and she's warm again. Oh, yeah. Anybody see her shoes?
There. This is actually 2 big tarps overlapped, and it makes a heck of a palace underneath, lots of room. I put tarps on the end and then run my stove, and it's my hot tent. Jump in and it works just fine.
It's awesome. That's a lot cheaper than the other deals.
Oh, exactly. And so a couple $100 you could have what you're seeing right here, and then you just put some tarps on the end and you're good.
That's super cool.
And
here's another one. Look at this. Another setup. So look at me. I just made my first purchase into the world of hammocking. I got myself an underquilt from Chris Sheridan. He makes these. And after this amazing tour, I am ready to do some hammock camping where I'm not cold. And this thing goes underneath. I'm so stoked. So Lee and I just walked up here to this overlook. It is amazing. The sun's going down. Wow. That is fantastic. It's the Au Sable River. We hiked up here to this overlook. Look at over here, some dunes. Oh my gosh. This is the spot. Wow. This guy says, pure Michigan. Can't get any better.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah, gotta find the spots.
It's a good last night at the Bushcraft gathering. Well, we are just leaving. That was absolutely amazing. That was so much fun.
It was fantastic.
Definitely going back. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Thanks for joining me. This is Girl in the Woods and Bush Radical. We gone. Oh, don't forget to get outside and get happy.